Hi, I'm Lee and welcome to part 3 of my Antarctic adventure. In this vlog I get to see lots of penguins in the Falkland Islands, witness some incredible sunsets at sea and explore the beautiful Montevideo in Uruguay before making a long journey home.
So welcome to day 9 of the cruise.
Storyteller, put it up.
It's most definitely windy. Yeah, so today's day 9 and we are heading towards the Falkland Islands. We've had an announcement this morning to say that we're going to be arriving quite late to the Falklands because of the medical emergency that we had yesterday. It means that we are going to be delayed slightly with our arrival. We've got an independent excursion booked tomorrow, so I've emailed them to find out whether that's going to cause any issues. We've also been told that there's no local tenders on the Falkland Islands, so we're going to be using one of these things probably. So I think it's going to be an early start to get to get a tender slot, so we can make our excursion time slot. But yeah, so currently we're heading towards the Falklands. It's very foggy, so every 3 minutes we have the foghorn sounding. And it's cold. It's cold. But again, I am once again wearing shorts, so maybe that's my own stupidity. But I'm going to go back inside. And that's better. Currently, as it is a sea day, there's lots of activities happening by the crew. How often can you say there's a tree floating in the middle of a atrium on a cruise ship? It really is a beautiful ship. I think there are parts of it that look dated because it did first sail in 2009, and what's that, 17 years ago? That's some of the woodwork, it looks dated, but I like it. Yeah, it's definitely got a nice elegance to it, this ship. There's a better view of the tree. And every stairwell has got lots of art, and this one confuses me because this picture looks like it's a US setting, but they've got British brands of BT and Clark's. Originally it's a model, but there are lots of just lovely artwork all over the ship, and it's really noticeable. It's not subtle, it's not minimalist, but I'm neither subtle nor a minimalist either, so that's probably why I quite like it. Hello and good morning from the Falkland Islands and Port Stanley. And there's tender. That's getting on the way. So, an update on the tender situation. So, we should have arrived here a little bit earlier, so we're going to be late getting off this morning. Our excursion was planned for 9 o'clock, but it's unlikely we're going to get off before 9:30 because we're doing an independent excursion, and I guess that's the risk that you take when you book independently. But we are expected to get off about 9:30. I've been in touch with the company through Viator, and they said just get off as quickly as we can, and they'll try and accommodate the penguin tour we're doing because they understand it's not our fault or situation. I have been disappointed in Celebrity's handling of this because they've been very lax in the information that they've provided on the tender process and what time we'll get here and what time we'll get off. Welcome to the Falkland Islands and Port Stanley. So we're just waiting for a few more people to arrive for our excursion. And then we're going to go and see some penguins, but it is lovely and sunny. This was not the weather we were expecting. So we've been very lucky. And just over there in the distance, you can see the funnels of the ship. We had to get tender, which is very cramped, but we've made it. And yeah, glorious. So first impressions are the Falkland Islands are beautiful. It's that word again, which I keep saying a lot on this vlog, but yeah, look how pretty it is. And even though I know it's kind of a British Crown dependency, overseas territory, I was surprised to see that it is like UK police uniforms and UK police cars, so that shouldn't surprise me, but it has. Really, they're so lucky with the weather. To my left, just down there, penguins. And Magdalena penguins, apparently. The third biggest that are on the island. Or the biggest out of the three that are out. So we've just seen some cormorants and some penguins. Right now, there is the Celebrity Equinox. So Guy was saying that there's very few shops here, there's only one supermarket, and if they run out of things then they have to wait for up to 2 months for a new container ship to arrive with provisions on it. So if your car breaks and you've not got the part, you have to wait 2 months, as the shipping container comes from the UK, from London. It has to go through Montevideo, because the Argentines don't allow them to have cargo ships that come in from the UK, so they have to go a different route. And we're back on the Equinox. Today has been so magical. Yeah, after what was a bit of a faff getting off the ship with the tender issue, it just turned out to be really, really good. The team at Falkland Travel were so accommodating with the delays caused by Celebrity with getting off the ship. but it was so good. The tour, we got taken to different coves around the Falkland Islands, got to see penguins, and got a really nice tour from our tour guide Caps. So Falklands Travel, thank you. You made the day really special, and what was already a incredible cruise, this has definitely been a highlight. We saw 3 types of penguin, Gentoo, magentic, and we saw 1 king penguin. And we got to see the Falkland Islands, which, considering there's always a 50% chance that this port gets cancelled because of bad weather, we've been really, really lucky with it. So yeah, this cruise just keeps getting better and better. But yeah, the Falkland Islands, really, really beautiful and really nice. I don't know what I was expecting, but what I've seen today wasn't it. It's really nice. And there's 3,000 people who live here, and probably about 4,000 servicemen, but we don't know that for sure. And that's the British Army, or British Navy, Air Force, combination of all of them. There's 1 million penguins, 1 million penguins on these tiny islands, and that's a large number. I'm not very good at maths, so I can't work out the ratio to penguin to human, but it's a lot. I'm not sure who would win in a fight between 1 million penguins and 3,000 humans. That's got to be a quiz question, hasn't it? Yeah, 1 million penguins versus 3,000 humans. Who would win? The guide was saying that it's on the Falkland Islands, there's no homelessness. If you're homeless, you get taken off the island. There's no unemployment. Everybody who works here, everybody who lives here works. Some people have 3-4 jobs. The average salary is about £35,000. Average cost of a home is about £250,000. But there's a bit of a housing crisis, so it's quite difficult to find land that you can build on. But they've got really good healthcare, really good education. If you do well at school here, so if you go through primary school, secondary school, you get your GCSEs and you want to go to sixth form and university, it's all funded by the government. You will get to go to any university in the world that you can get into, and it's all covered, all the expenses are paid, with no requirement to return here. So it's, yeah, there's definitely some benefits to living here. The cost of food is really expensive. Apparently it costs about £2.50 per single banana, £2 for a single apple. So a lot of their food and diet is meat-based and lamb-based, from what they have here. Because of the acidic soil and ground, it's very difficult to grow things here. One thing we were also told today is that their main industry is fishing, and if you eat squid anywhere in Europe, chances are it's been caught here in the Falkland Islands, and it's their main export. Hello and welcome to day 13? 12. We are currently on day 11. And it's another sea day. So we've got, and to quote some staff that I overheard talking yesterday, sea day today, Puerto Madryn tomorrow, sea day, Uruguay, then home. Because their contract is coming to an end, I then found out. So yeah, it's another sea day. And today we are just going to get by the pool, I think, or the indoor pool, the solarium, and have a bit relaxed, because yesterday was quite full on. We did the excursion in Stanley and to see the penguins. It was such a good day. And then last night we came back and we had a meal booked in Murano, which was even better this time than last time. Then we went up to the Sky Lounge, which I love the Sky Lounge, because you just get really great vistas of the sea. And I had a frozen margarita and we just watched the world go by for a little bit. That was nice, but then we were feeling really tired, so we came back to the room because we didn't really fancy the act that was on the theatre last night at 9 o'clock. And to be fair, I've not really loved the entertainment so far on the ship, which is disappointing because I generally love a theatre show, and it's not because the artists' acts aren't talented, they've just not really been my cup of tea. So we've had an Argentine tango couple do some dancing, which does make sense given the fact that we were in Argentina. But then we've had a mentalist, which he wasn't very good, in my opinion. We've only had 2 production cast shows so far, which was Life right at the start of the cruise, which I've seen that now I think 5 times. And to be fair, this time seeing it was the best I've seen it so far. Then they've done Broadway Cabaret, which was again really good. And then tonight they're doing a show called Topper, which we have seen before, and it's a bit of a like Alice in Wonderland type of show with acrobatics and dancers and performing, which I'm really looking forward to. Welcome to a very warm and very sunny Puerto Madryn, which smells of fish. But yeah, it is so hot and sunny today. Very hot and sunny today. I think we're going to stay on the ship because it's empty, and as it's so nice and it's so warm, I think we've decided that we're going to have a day by the pool and enjoy the peace and quiet. So that's the plan.
Attention crew. The following crew members proceed to evacuation control center.
So there's a crew drill currently happening. And I've come to see whether we can see any whales, as apparently you might be able to see orcas here in Puerto Madryn. It's such a unique cruise in the sense that we've gone from really hot temperatures in Buenos Aires down to minus in Antarctica, similar temperatures to home in Falkland Islands, and now we're back into scorching heat. So it's not even 11:30 and it's already 26 degrees. It's going to be warm today. So one of the reasons why we took the decision not to get off today, not only is it because it's really warm, it's because the pier is a really long walk, which I don't mind walking. I walk a lot at home, but not in 26 degree heat.
This week's Safety is Everybody's Business topic is Save the Waves. Crew members, as you leave, please do it so in a calm and orderly fashion. The safety of our crew and guests is the #1 priority for Celebrity Cruises. Thank you, dear guests. Keep enjoying a sunny, beautiful, gorgeous beach day in Puerto Madryn. Thank you.
Thank you, Manuel. That's the cruise director. He's been very funny. I like Manuel a lot. So I think at this point I'm going to go and see whether I can convince them to put an umbrella up by the pool for me, and maybe, even though it's 11:30, get a beer. So that's my day for today. Bye. Hello and welcome to day 13 and the final sea day. How's that happened? It's gone super quick, but it's also not. So yesterday it started super warm, really sunny. It's like 27 degrees by like 11:30 in the morning. But then as the afternoon kind of got later, the weather turned. There was rain, there was hail. It became so stormy as we were sailing out of Puerto Madryn that, yeah, the weather really turned. But then last night we had such an amazing sunset. When we came back to the room, it was just an incredible orangey, yellowy, red sky, and it was properly magical. I think that's the word I'm going to use to describe this cruise. I've used many an adjective so far, and I've said I've struggled to find the words to describe what this cruise is like, but magical, I think, is the word I'm going to go with. So seeing that sunset last night was just magical. And then we went to the Sky Lounge where there was a quiz on, and we had a lovely evening. Welcome to Uruguay. That's our first impression of Uruguay. So it looks like it's quite an industrial port. There's a bit of a ship's graveyard. So yesterday was our final sea day, and it was quite an interesting day on the ship because there was a frenzy, I guess, around the ship of people wanting to make their last sea day, make the most of it, because it felt like people were definitely going balls deep in making sure they got the value for money out of stuff yesterday. So people were drinking and were on it from the start of the day. There was a massive buffet at lunchtime in the Ocean View Cafe, and yeah, it felt like a busy ship yesterday. This is Montevideo. Really nice little place. Good morning from Buenos Aires port, where I am very tired. I got about 2 hours sleep, and just because I had a really active brain, so that's why I sound a bit like Barry White with such a deep voice this morning. I'm very tired, but we made it back. We've been to Antarctica and back. Tick. And I got a certificate for it. So last night, when we got back to our room, there was a certificate from Captain Leo on everybody's door saying you'd been to Antarctica. So, see, certificate means it happened, it's real. But yeah, it's currently about 6 a.m. and we're getting our transfer from here at 7:30, so we need to be in one of the lounges for 7:15. And then we'll get transferred to Buenos Aires Airport, where we've got a pod hotel booked for 6 hours, which I'm so grateful for, because no sleep will mean hopefully to get some rest before we fly. The flight's at 5 o'clock tonight, so it'll be a day and a half by the time we actually get home. So it'll be like late Sunday afternoon. So I'm currently on the way to get coffee, and then yeah, we'll start the long journey home. But I guess that's the price you pay when you fly to the other side of the world and sail to the bottom of it. So coffee is very much needed. And just like that, thank you room 8351 on the Celebrity Equinox. it's been a pleasure. Even if that balcony was in a state of disrepair when we first got on it, but they improved it. They improved it slightly. Give it a bit of paint. So that's done though. Room is all packed up. We're just waiting for our disembarkation group to be called, and then we'll be going to the airport. Thank you, Celebrity Equinox. Thank you, Celebrity. We've got 2 more Celebrity cruises booked, but that's for next year and the year after. And then later on this year, we're going back on Virgin on the Valiant Lady. So if you want to see what happens on those trips, stick around. And this is our very small, but perfectly formed pod that we've been staying in for the day. So yeah, it's got bunk bed, very tight. But yeah, this has been quite a nice place to chill out for the past few hours before we have to go to and check in. So fully recommend the My Pod Boutique Pod Hotel in Buenos Aires. 2 thumbs up. That's not 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.